I was going to get home safe. But clearly, in an instance like with this one, with Mr. Nichols, with Ahmaud Arbery, we'll use him, even though they were not current police officers, and even with the one of George Floyd, each one of these instances, along with many more, there was no major threat being caused to the actual officers that were committing these crimes. But yet again, in 2023, we still face the same issues that we faced in 1964 with police brutality, with dogs being let out on us, being able to chew us and maul us alive, with getting hoses and water poured on us for hours at a time simply because someone who is in a position of authority, who was appointed a position of authority by another human, deemed us less than. And where do we stop? How do we stop this? And I think this is where we, the people, we have to start getting motivated and mobile. We, the people, have to, again, we have to rally up at our courthouses, at our state, at our city, city halls and courthouses, and community meetings, the first and thirds or the first and sixth. We have to start getting back involved with these people who are operating and running our police officers, our schools, our food, our corporations. I mean, we just cannot continue to just allow the things that are going on to just continue to go on and act like there's just nothing we can do about it, because it's soon going to spill over to your child. It's soon going to spill over to your nephew, your cousin, your niece, your whomever. So again, you know what? Listen, hey, thank you for joining me. Toy with T here. I need to know your feedback. What do we got going on here? What our state of policing? Is this now what it takes? Is this now where policing in America has turned to? The same policing tactics and techniques that were used in 1964 against people of color. And if you're a person who is not of color, then you get to wail machetes and defensively drive automobiles quickly past the officer, slightly dragging him up the street as you pull off, and nothing happens to you. I mean, I just need to know. So thank y'all for joining me. Toya with the T. Somebody help me understand, where is the state of policing in America right now? What is it do we do as an officer? Now, see, listen, I get it. I heard a conversation the other day, and a young man asked, he said, we need some of our young people to become officers. And that's true. We need our young people to become a lot more than just rappers and NBA players and Cardi B's, and you know what I'm saying? We need real people. We don't just need entertainers and actors and rappers, right? But we're trying to figure out, well, why aren't they drawn to things like, being a police officer? Well, nobody likes a police officer. Nobody likes police anymore. Police don't make themselves, and they don't market themselves to be likable. We don't want to be officers. The officers that we come into encounter with, from young to old, they're rude, they're disrespectful. Their word is just the truth, right? Whatever you have to say is not the truth. They're gonna make it the truth. Then they got buddies all over. Well, it starts because it's our youth. Well said, because it starts with our youth. It does starts a lot with our youth. But we also know that the reality of life, oftentimes when you have these officers, they don't come across as that's something that you want to grow up and be. There was a point in time where we did want to be an officer, but we wanted to be an officer for the right reason, because we wanted to help solve crimes and fight murders, and we wanted to be on the right side of the law. But after movies such as Training Day, when it goes inside and it shows the corruption of police officers and how they brutally beat and take advantage of the disparities in urban and ethnic neighborhoods, who wants to be a police officer in 2023? Nobody wants to be a cop. Nobody wants to snitch. Nobody, even if people are committing murders here. We have codes on streets that even when people are committing crimes, we don't want to call the police because we know that the police is not going to be on our side. We are not encouraging our children to be a cop. Why? Because we don't want it is what it is. We know we don't want our children to get hurt. The biggest challenge of being an officer, for one, is being killed in the line of duty for just being a cop. But then not only that, there's a lot of power that comes with being a police officer that puts a target on your back that you may help that target get on your back with just the gahunas you're gonna grow from being an officer. I've known cops who are so bold and who are so cocky. I've known people who they were one way before they became an officer, but then after they became an officer, they were just terrible people, terrible individuals. They were not good for serving and protecting citizens. What? They wanted to be officers because they were bullied when they were younger. They wanted to walk around with a gun and be able to do what they wanted to do. And we knew that they were going to probably abuse this position just because of the kind of person that they are. And then when we tie this into policing in America, if we were to even tie this into any kind of KKK activity when it comes to police in urban neighborhoods, something that we know has been a trigger for years and years, but it seems like it's not getting any better with white officers on individuals of color in 2023. Not even just in 2023. You would think that just from 2020 with George Floyd, that our senators, that our governors, that our mayors, that our police chiefs would take lives, someone's life, more precious than anything in this world. With you being an officer of authority, with you being a person, that is your talent, right? You're a person of authority. You're going to be officer. You want to make things right. And for you to feel like you get the right to take someone's life just because they're messing with your girlfriend, you feel like, did we hear about the officer in Griffin, Georgia? I only know about this officer because I'm from Griffin, Georgia. But yeah, so there's a story where there's an officer that shot his own wife in the head. How many of us know officers that beat their wives? How many know officers that cheat on their wives? How many of us know officers that stalk people and others? How many of us know officers that like young ass girls? The streets are always talking. We always hearing stuff in the streets about officers, and what is not true. Everybody's watching. The streets are always watching. The streets are always talking. We don't have to snitch. But the fact of the matter is, we know that the officers aren't right, but yet and still they get to hold these positions of authority. This goes for police officers. This goes for federal and government officials like the CIA and FBI. They get to infiltrate and influence certain activities, and nothing happens. And some of these activities are in urban neighborhoods, so they get to come and set us up and murder us and kill us in the commission of influencing crimes. And we're cool with that in America. This is the cycle. So when do we stop? When does it end? Y'all listen, check me out. I'm Toya with the T, y'all. I need to know your feedback on this whole incident that has just went down with police officers. When is it gonna stop? What do we do? How what kind of bitter pill is this to take that your child is on their way home or on their way to a destination, gets pulled over by an officer. Once they get pulled over by that officer, because that officer has an entanglement with the officer and this young man that the officer stalked now. Because how did you know this young man was pulling up at this time? Where was he coming from? You had to be stalking him. There were other things that you had to go into play that you get permission to do because you're an officer. And you violently killed him because y'all are dealing with the same young lady. And this doesn't remind us about the same thing that happened in 1964 or 1952 or a bunch of 19. You pick the number in the early 1900s. There was a lot going on when it comes to black men that were supposedly messing with so-called white women or a white man's woman. We were slaves. We were married to our men. And the masters had an issue with us being with our own men. And yet, here we are 200 years later, 300, 400 years later, and the same masters, only in a different form, have an issue with us being with our men. To where they're killing them red-handed, empty-handed, all because they didn't listen. All because, and I get it, listen, from an authoritarian aspect, because, hey, listen, do you know why I couldn't become a cop? I'm just going to be honest. Because I'm probably going to, listen, I'm not going to be running after nobody. Because I know I got a temper. I know that I need to work on some things. I know if I tell you to stop or I shoot and you don't stop, you keep running, I'm shooting you. I knew that. I knew at a very young age, if I became a cop, I would probably be a corrupt cop. No, because I do too much. I'm not going to do right. I'm just now starting to do right. So I knew I couldn't be an officer. That I know. But for these people that are choosing to protect and serve, how is it that you're using your force to where you want to murder? Thank you. That you want to murder innocent people with no intention or can't even beat you. When we look at the video of Mr. Tyre Nichols, there were 2, 3, 4. Listen, that was another KKK murder, just like any other, where they stopped a black man traveling down the road, pulled him out his car, multiple white men. Pulled him out his car. Didn't matter if you committed a crime or not, but you want to tell somebody to go call a police officer. And we've been telling y'all that the police officer has been, they've been murdering us, torturing us. So you're telling us to call the police. So here this young man is. Here's another reenactment of how they did us in the movie Mississippi Burning. They're driving down the street and white officers get together and pull this black man out of his car, all because he was messing with his woman? Because he was messing with your lady? So your lady loving and body and just so good that this man needs to die because y'all messing with the same female? Nope. This is the same white mentality that we have to endure just being black in America. Now you feel like because you're white and privileged and in a position of authority, you get to do whatever you want to do, drag us out of cars, murder us, and you know what? Nothing's gonna happen. And damn it if they're not gonna be right again. Again. And then what you say is, oh no, don't be angry. Don't go and protest. Don't go and burn up cars. Don't go and tear up stuff. Listen, let me tell you what my top was blown the other day, right? First of all, I heard about the story before it even hit the news because sometimes God just position you to be in places ahead of time. So I heard about the story before it already hit the news, but I just didn't marinate on it. But I have to forgive myself at times because I haven't been in my spiritual prayer moments like I normally be. Well, at any rate, I hear about the story before it actually drops. When the story drops, I asked the young lady, has she heard about it? And the young lady makes a comment and say, well, I don't know that black man, so it doesn't make a difference to me. This is just something that they want to put all over television to make black people angry. So, me, I just say, mm, mm, mm. I I don't know who's black people worst enemy, the house nigga or the master. But both of them are detrimental to the rising black person, the black individual who's trying to rise, who's trying to be better. The house Negro is just as detrimental to them as the master because either way you go, they're going to be there to block anything that the field Negro is going to do. Whatever the field Negro feels, the house Negro is going to be on the side of the white privileged mind and make it feel like, oh yeah, that's not even possible. But I need to see the person who, if it is your brother, if it is your nephew, if it is your father, and these officers did what they did to him, how can you fix your lips to say that it does not matter to you? And when you said that it doesn't matter, even if it is your loved one, even if you feel like they deserved it, someone tell me the crime. Please drop it. I need to know this. I want to know. Type it in. Tell me the crime that is worthy of the murder the way this young man just died. Is sex trafficking or human trafficking worthy of a punishment like this, to be pulled out your car, dragged and beat? How about child molestation? Because I know child molesters that didn't get pulled out their car and dragged and beaten like they did this young man. How about a church shooting? Going into a church, shooting up a whole bunch of black people. Oh no, he didn't get beat up like that either. Let me see. How about shooting up a concert? How about that? No, not shooting up a concert. Okay. How about shooting up a school? A kindergarten school with a bunch of babies, or college? Oh no, I didn't see none of them get beat to death like this young man did either. Let me see something else. What else they got? Shot up. We done got people that done blowed up stuff. What else we done got? We done got. Listen. Let me tell you something. The guys that flew the planes into the Twin Towers. Listen, they didn't even get beat up that bad, even though they didn't live. I mean, I'm just saying. You said, are I suggesting that black cops are more violent? I'm not saying that black cops are more violent. What I'm saying is that we have the tendency to be more violent with black people when we're a cop, no matter what the color is. I'm saying that when people become police officers, whether they're black, white, or Latino, people lose their fucking mind and feel like you're somebody's god, and you lose all ethics and etiquette and feel like you can dog or treat someone like a dog or murder someone like a dog because you're an officer and you feel like you're above the law, no matter what color you are. What I will do as a black and African American female that endures the hardships of being black, I will stand up and talk about the things that happen in a black neighborhood or that is committed against black people, that it wouldn't happen to someone else. It seems like black on black crime is more violent. Well, probably black on black crime is more personal. So again, when we talk about crime, let's be for real when we talk about crime. Again, when we have our officers, you have different divisions, and different divisions do different things. They have this thing called profiling. And when they begin to profile people, most of the time when things are more violent, it is because they know each other. So if we find something in common about black crimes being a little bit more violent, it's probably because we know each other and it's a more personal crime. Again, we can't look at just one side of the spectrum. We can't just look at one side of the story, because if that's the case, then we're going to put all of the blame on the part of the officer, because this officer or this law enforcement personnel is trained to do what? To de-escalate, to be able to be stronger or sustain or whatever their commands are as officers. I mean, I'm just saying. Whatever their commands are to stop it as officers. I don't think I would command my officers to shoot first. I mean, would we? Because even though we're out here and we're in the streets and we're talking about, you know, the violence that goes on, we have to look at the other side. Please talk more about having a more personal response based upon race. Okay, so when we look at like profiling, most of the time when it comes to like, you know, human trafficking or stealing or, you know, violent crimes, most importantly, it is a rule, it is the studies have shown that the more personal you are to a person, the more violent the crime. So when they wind up catching someone for committing a crime and they see that that person, you know, has more stab wounds or has more shot at more many times, it's because of the personal issues or personal connection or personal relationship that that person had with each other. So now we're going to talk about in a racial perspective. 9 times out of 10, and this is something my father told me a long time ago, it's not a stranger that's going to do something to you. It's normally always someone that knows you. And even when it comes to policing, the good officers that actually use police work for what it's supposed to, and that is to actually solve crimes, they know that when they follow the rabbit hole to wherever it is, the person who committed this crime against you, they know you, or either it's someone who knew you that got them to do it for you. And if we just think about it, it's always connected some kind of way. It's very rarely a stranger who is going to commit a crime, unless it's something like, you know, mass shootings, which I hate to have to throw this out there, but we can correlate um, drive-by shootings, which is something that most urban neighborhoods or black people, they say that's what we do, even though we got it from the gangsters who were white back in the day in the Chicago. They would drive by and shoot stuff up. But never mind those savages, we're not talking about them. We just gonna talk about the black people that do this drive-by shootings, and oh my gosh, they're just savages. But now, because we're dealing with each other on a personal level, now we're committing crimes against each other because we got personal issues. So let's talk about um gang violence, for example. We know that gangs grow up 9 times out of 10. Some of these people, they went to school together, they grew up, you know what I'm saying? And when they grow up, they branch off in certain ways, and some of them get caught up in gangs. But most gang members are fighting over, territorial things, right? So it's still personal because this my block, this my city, this my hood. So it's still that's still a personal crime. Whether it is stealing drugs, whether it's you and your brother. Listen, a person who is not related to your brother can your brother can steal from them, and they might not even want to fight them, but because it's your brother, you may take it more personal and want to do something and fight your brother because it's more personal to you, but it's up to the individual. So oftentimes when you in the hood, no matter where you are, even with white people notorious for killing their mamas and daddies. That's not something, that's not, you don't really see black people killing up their mamas and daddies. You do now. But at one point in time, no, that's not what we do. That's something that white people do. But again, that's a more personal crime. They're angry for whatever it is that mama or daddy did to them, and it's more personal to them. So they're gonna stab them 83 times, and they're gonna cut this part off and cut this part off because that's a more personal relationship. And that's in reference to this officer. If indeed, and when you look at this video, it looks like a personal beatdown. When you've made your mind up, and regardless of what position that you're in, that you're gonna beat somebody down, and it doesn't make a difference whether you're a cop, an officer, a senator, a fast food worker. It doesn't matter. If you're going to give somebody that beat down of a century, the beat down of a lifetime, the beat down what you're going to jail for. We all know when we're going to do that. We're prepared for it. We premeditated. But I think one of the things is now that in this day and time, what you thought you was going to get away with, you're not going to get away with. So these officers, they're not going to get away with it. Time is up. Time is up. All these officers, especially the white ones, I hate to have to call you out. If you feel like you're going to be able to commit crimes against black people, you're going to get caught and you're going to jail. Those days are over. The universe is going to be course correcting a lot of these different things because, for one, people are too scared to speak up. For two, you got multiple different levels of people who are hiding this information. Hold on, y'all. This is another comment. Do you think that these black officers were more violent because of their angry at their culture? Do you think that when white boys killed their parents, that white boys kill their parents because they're angry at their culture? Let's stop making it seem like black people is fucking reptiles. And we just so different. Oh my gosh. Just black people are so different from white people and so different from Mexicans. We're really not that different. We're just raised up differently, and different things are different triggers to us. So I don't think it has anything to do about culture. But what I do believe from the experience that I know from knowing officers We all already grab onto anger for whatever reasons, but it's something about being a cop. It's something about that spirit of power that these officers get where you feel like you just cannot be touched. And listen, I don't date cops for that reason, because they're too controlling. They want to know what you're doing. They want to run your license plate. If they see you talking to somebody, they want to run their license plate too. Oh my gosh. And let me tell you, listen. This is after hours. The most softiest and squishiest cops in the bedroom be the pettiest ones on the field. And when I say super petty, I mean super petty. And it has nothing to do with being angry at your culture. It's power. It's because I can. Everybody want power. You have no idea what kind of power comes with. Listen, let's really put this into perspective. You are a police officer. They are giving you a gun and they saying that they are trusting your word and your authority on everything that goes on in this society. That means if you run up on someone, if you say that they committed the crime, that's what it is, unless you proven otherwise. We don't understand the weight and the responsibility that an officer has. If you are a representative for the state, the city, or whatever, and if you say that this person did something, they're going to take your word for it. If you said they ran and you shot them in the back because they ran, they're going to take your word for it. So that power and control right there, it has nothing to do with culture. Control, power over people. You said it. That is a spirit that we have to control. Because it doesn't only come with being an officer. It comes with being whatever. It doesn't make a difference. You right there where you are can grasp that same mentality. You can be El Chapo. You could have been Al Capone. Whoever. It doesn't necessarily have to be violent. It could be something that is geared in a more positive kind of way. Mike Tyson. We got legal criminal activity going on here in the United States of America. We got legal pimping. What you say? You said no. You influenced me. You're on something here. Well, I appreciate you, but we got legal pimping going on here in the United States of America. You don't see this? Listen, loan sharking. We're going to give you a loan. We're going to loan you something credit-wise, right? We're going to give you a loan, and then we're going to charge you 20% interest. Listen, you're going to do the work. We're going to take our money out first. We don't care if you don't have enough to survive, just like some slaves. You're going to live off the crumbs. We're going to pay you crumbs. We're going to take money from the crumbs. The money we take from the crumbs, this is what you're going to be paying for. You're going to be paying for your crummy police. You're going to be paying for your, okay, I'm sorry. I apologize, police officers, because listen, let me tell you something. When I need to call y'all, I need y'all to be here. Okay, so please don't get offended by, this is just my mind talking how I really feel inside, because y'all don't do right. But I try not to call you. I'm just going to be my ass in jail. But we pay for our crummy police officers who, when you call, they arrest you. So we don't even call them. You pay for your crummy firefighter because they never fucking get there in time. The whole goddamn house be done burned the hell down by the time they get there anyway. And when they do get there, they done cause more damn damage to the house than the actual damn fire. This is what your tax dollars pay for now. Your crummy roads and streets. The crummy schools, the prison to pipeline system. Don't even get me started on that. Listen, y'all. Listen, Mr. Rick Hills, what you say? You said I'm on to something. Yeah, I'm on to something, and I'm gonna call it the 7 levels of negative. Because all of these things have to do with why we angry. I share your frustration. Yeah, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What a tangle web we weave. What a tangle web we weave. So listen, y'all not feeling me. I need y'all to feel me right here. You're taking multiple hundreds of dollars. How many people is in the United States of America? Over 370 something million. So now you taking, let's say, $200 per. Okay, all 375 million out working. We'll say half. We'll say 180 million. 180 million. $200 from 180 million people to go to the police, government, all this stuff here, right? And what you're telling me is that after I pay my unauthorized, because I didn't authorize y'all to take my damn money. We love law and order, but the 7 letters of negative is killing us. Yes, the hell it is killing us. But we pay y'all this money involuntarily. We don't get no choice. We gotta pay you these damn taxes. And what you're telling me is that I'm paying you for the police to stop me or my husband or my son and kill him because my son is banging their baby mother. And I can't do nothing. 7 levels of negative, y'all. We had a conversation on this morning. It's about getting ahead in the game, right? And sometimes we find ourselves a little older and in predicaments that we can't get out of. Now, for this predicament that this young man had, see, we can't control nothing when it comes to having individuals in a position of authority murder you. Okay. But what I will say is that if he would have decided to take the Wild West way out, if he had have said, fuck your laws, and I'm going to carry me a pistol, and if your police officers run up on me, I'm going to shoot every last one of them because I didn't do nothing, he would still be in a bad place. And it all have to be on camera. So we have to really be on point, and we have to come up with another union of representatives for us. I propose I'm coming up with something. I need y'all to join me. I want to call it the Americans Task Force. Because listen, I'm a Black American, I'm not. It is what it is. I'm not gonna go through all this, old African American. I'm not from fucking Africa. I'm from Brooklyn to fuck New York. You understand me? I'm an African American, what they call, but I'm a Black girl from Brooklyn, and I'm American. And what I need is a task force to fight for me. So this is what I pledge. I pledge that if we take our money, we create our American task force. We have a place to go for these things. And I can't pull it all out on here, right? These are things that we got to have conversations. We got to have sidebars. We can't do this online because this is just not going to get us where we need to be. But when it comes to being able to create a task force for Americans, we have to be able to come. That's right, the American task force. We have to be able to position ourselves not only financially, not only physically, but from every aspect it takes to operate a nation. And the only way we can do that is together. And like I said, when you look at half of the United States, we'll just say roughly 180 million people at $200 a paycheck. Those are phenomenal numbers that our government uses against us. But if we could take that same 180 million and just $1 per American per week, that's 180 million dollars a week, and that could listen. I've gone through this on live before, and we could sustain a couple of things for ourselves. But before we go there, we got to go ahead and I got to talk about the 7 levels of negative, because I believe that this 7 levels of negative is what holds us in the place where we are. Because as African Americans who find ourselves in the predicaments that we do, like police brutality, being in positions of poverty, um, apartments, you know what I'm saying? Housing projects, not having cars, not being well educated, the things that matter is because, I think that we do not start off on a level playing field. And being black in America, the playing field will never be level because of the levels that's gone on before us. So it is up to us now to dig ourselves from out of these levels at whatever point in time we understand that, okay, I'm off base here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not I'm not even with everybody else. And when you find out that you're not even, what do? And hence where we were talking about the 7 levels of negative. So now, I think one of the things that is an issue is that we start off out the gate in the negative. Okay. Being black, you're already born with strikes. Okay. And just one individual, just one black woman or one black male, automatically is going to start off the game with -3. Okay. -1 is being black. So you're going to have a disparity when it comes to your job. You're going to have a disparity when it comes to your education. And you're going to have a disparity when it comes to the quality of goods or services that you may have to receive. So if you are black in America, one person is already going to automatically start it off -3, and you don't even know it. You're born in a negative being black in America. So now here you are, one individual, right? You're born into a family who already is angry, and I like that you said that you're a black woman from Brooklyn. Thank you, baby. So here we are, we're born, right? Black, right? Don't know to be angry, but we are born to a long list of cultural angers. Because who gets cheated and happy about the shit? Black people have been cheated for fucking hundreds of fucking years here. So that means my grandfather was angry, my great grandfather was angry, my great 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 grandfather was angry, and everybody before them was damn angry. Because either you was angry or you damn wasn't. And for those of us who came from slavery, trust and believe, a lot of them was damn angry. So now here you go. You're passed down culturally anger just off of the GP of you being black, because you got to go through all this foolishness and nonsense simply because of your skin color. So boom. You already starting off with -3 because you black and you finna go through these issues. So now you're born into this cultural family of anger because we're all black and been cheated on and shitted on, and just what Malcolm X say, hornswoggled, bushwhacked, cheated. So that's another strike. So now wait a minute, hold up. Don't get another negative thrown in there. That makes 4, the anger issue, because this is going to start to build up your social skills. This is what's wrong with some of us black people now, your social skills. Ignorant ninjas don't get nowhere. We just had a conversation about being an ignorant ninja, being a coon, and being a black person. I love Malcolm too. But if you're coming up in an angry household, now you're finna have social skill issues. Now you finna be angry. Don't nobody want to be bothered with you. Oh, trust me, you damn sure ain't gonna be the ninja to get picked for anything, and you angry and don't nobody want to be bothered with angry black ninjas. And you sure better not be no woman. There got another negative. So here we go. We starting off the rip in the negative. Social skills out the window. So now we start working on basic foundations. So you already -5. I think this is what we call integers, y'all. We already on -5 because now you're black and you finna have disparities on everything. Disparities on your pay. Now you finna have an attitude culturally because you've been blacked down and been cheated your whole damn life. Then they killed your grandpappy, your grandmama, then they cut babies out stomachs and shit. You constantly reminded of this. So now you a woman or whatever little. So now here we go, out the gate, -5. All right, boom. We're going to live a little bit longer. Right now, we're going to start growing up. We 12, we 13, we 14. Hey, you might have a talent here. Okay? So we have a talent. Boom, let me tell you something. One of these fall off because you got a plus sign and you got 5 negatives. So, okay, boom. Once you got a talent, you can knock one of them off because of your talent. Let me tell you something. White folks like little ninjas with talent. Oh, you want to get your way out of getting your foot chopped off? Run fast, jump high, play damn ball, or fight. Then we can do some things. Then, hence, why all black people want to be entertainers. So now you got you a talent. You're starting off now 4. Now you -4. Now you're going to school. Now this is where it gets tricky, right? Because now it's one of you don't even know that you -4. One of you -4. Now you go sleeping with somebody, and whether you had a good parent or a bad parent, all parents tell you before you get with somebody, don't be having no babies. And you can sit up there and say, oh, well, they didn't tell me. I always want to. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, here you did. You slip your ass down with someplace anyway. And now you got these babies. So now you -4. You ain't but 1. Now you done made another one. So now it's 2 with the -4. What you say? The 7 levels of negative was stacked against us. Why? Because our nature, we have been at war. Oh, honey. That's a whole. War comes from multiple ways, and sometimes we at war on us with ourselves, and we're about to get into that with these 7 levels of negative. And I'm gonna throw this out here at, I don't know who this is, so I can't accept that because it be some people. If you are a man and you try to have sex with a woman and get her pregnant, and you don't do your due diligence to make sure you take care of that woman and that child, regardless of what, you are someone who had just caused a war. So when it comes to nature and when we've been at war, war is just not with weather or with different cities and armies. We're at war with each other too, because when you're a man and a woman and you do not do right by each other, that's another war within itself. I seen differ. Our original nature is pure, loving, and look at baby. Yeah, it is pure, but you could be pure all you want to. You have 12 pure babies in 2023 and see how pure you're gonna be. We can be pure, but we still gotta be realistic. But anyway, I gotta go back to the negatives, right? Because we at -4. We didn't have this baby. We're not married. We don't, because we had the baby young, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's what we've gone through, right? So we had the baby young. We can't work. So now you're behind the 8 ball. Now, if you got parents who are going to send you off somewhere or whatever the case may be, you still in the negative. Because now it's you. You already -4. Now you got a baby. So now it's 2 of you and it's a negative. And that baby got its own negatives, honey. We're about to get into a whole nother form of math. But all right, boom, moving forward. If at this point, the young person who just had the child does not decide or does not have a union to rally around them, this is where the disconnection goes. Because now you got the father of this child that need to be doing something, and then you got that mother and father that need to be doing something, and then you got the baby, the mother of this child that they're getting ready to have, and their parents. That is 2, 4, 5, 6 people. 6 that all need to be working for the best interest of this child. And what we're doing is the exact opposite. And we're wondering why we're having dysfunctional households. That's then we are taught negatives, and society rejects us, labels us, punishes us, and society is to blame. You live now. So let's go back to these 7 levels of negative. Boom. So when you come up in this angry household, you're going to have social skills and it's going to be very hard to get along with people. So that's why you're not going to get the job. It's not going to be because you're black. Okay? Then depending on what class you're in, right? Because we got different classes of ninjas. You got the project ninjas that don't have social skills. You got the middle class ninjas who don't have social skills. You got the high class ninjas that don't have social skills. And each one of them are going to operate in a capacity to where they're still human and they're still going to want to go through and feel the same and act the same and go through the same thing that any person on another class goes through. Then if they're unmarried, because here you starting off -4. Now you got another baby. And if you talking about, well, we're natural and look, babies, and you keep having these babies and babies and babies, well, let me tell you what you're finna do to yourself when you on baby number 6 and number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10, number 11, number 12, talking about, oh, look at the babies. They natural. They cute. You gonna be your ass in a nervous damn breakdown talking about something damn cute. Because again, the odds is already stacked against us, like we're saying. So if you're starting off with 4 negatives and then you have a baby, that's another negative. What the hell you gonna have 12 more for? Now you can have 12 more, but it comes with a lot of responsibility. 12 more, and why take the long way? Now this is another negative that we have, because see, we go to having these little cute little babies. Oh, because it's natural. These are the babies. They cute. But we don't teach them no damn sense. All we teach them is, what they. So now we got these babies. And we give them piss po ass advice. Talking about, oh, your credit, your credit score. Oh, it fall off in 7 years. Don't teach us nothing about paying bills on time. Matter of fact, hold up. Why the baby credit already jacked up for the baby get 18? Because you know they already went and took the credit and went and got some things on it already because you don't even understand credit. You don't even care nothing about no credit because you don't want to do the right thing yourself because you so bogged down by being under these 7 levels of negative and trying to dig your way back out. You doing any and everything. Thank you so much. Have a good day, my love. You're doing everything trying to get out of this rut, and you find yourself that you can't get out of it. But you won't stop to regroup to do the first thing. How about that education? Because, in the midst of this, right, when we drop out of school at 16 because we got pregnant, when we don't pay attention to school because we allow all of the disparities that we've had gone through because we were Black or whatever it is, and it's a lot of tragedies that go on. And, in those tragedies, I understand. And in those traumas, I understand how some of us, can get sidetracked or, don't want to focus in school and, don't want to pay attention and be educated and maybe even, Black people are notorious for their kids dropping out and helping them pay rent and, hey, you can't finish school. No, there's no going to college. You need to get you a job and then you need to pay me X amount of dollars for rent. So wait a minute. So you're going to have the 7 negatives stacked against you. And then before I can even get out the gate good, you're going to help me stack them against me too by having me work instead of focus on school. Generational knowledge, y'all. That's one of the 7 levels of negative. Passing down piss poor, bad information that gets you nowhere. Not teaching about credit, not teaching about paying bills on time, not teaching them about getting a car, not teaching them priorities. That you don't go pay for $300 headphones and you don't have a car. You don't go pay for $1,000 shoes and you don't have a home. You don't go pay for a $3,000 iPhone and you don't have a bank account. So the 7 levels of negative, this is what we are bogged up under. This is why we can't get ahead. And sometimes this war, we do it to ourselves. Education is imperative. Whether we tell ourselves to go to college, whether we tell ourselves to start a business, whether we tell ourselves to join the military, which is nothing I would never suggest for anyone to do. I mean, I wouldn't tell anyone to join the military. I'm not going to encourage anyone to join the military. Now, if you come to America and you fuck with us over here and you run up on my doorstep, I'm going to shoot the shit out you. Okay? But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to sign up for the Marines or the Army or, the government facility that wants me to be a part of them and willingly give up my rights and say, hey, I solemnly swear to fight for this country. And, if you tell me to go over there and when you give me an order, I'm going to swear. Nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be doing what the hell you tell me to do just because you tell me to do it. No, I'm not going to do that. Some people out here is cut for that kind of cloth. And knock yourself out. Hey, listen, I appreciate you. When you get back home, I got you. But what I'm not going to do, and what I will never encourage anyone to do, is to sign up for a government that calls shots and tell them to go. No, I'm not going to tell you to do that. But if that's something that you want to do, then I get it. I'm not mad at you. It's an alternative to some things. I'd rather you do that than be a kingpin or a gangbanger. But I'm just saying, for me, I don't do well. I'm my own boss. I'm my own general. I'm my own corporal. I'm my own commander and damn chief. And ain't nobody finna telling me what the hell I need to do. And talking about, oh, it's an order. Oh, and if you don't do it, oh, then we gonna throw you in jail because you government property. No, 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 no. We don't play them type damn games. But that's a real quick way to have me John Q your ass. I'm just saying. But that's the 7 levels of negative, y'all. 7 levels of negative is some of the things that keep us behind. It holds us back, and we can't get ahead. And number 7, that's social skills. I already said that. When you come from an angry household and people haven't taught you how to deal with people, what is this on here? When people haven't taught you how to deal with people, how to get along with others, how to play well, social skills. You come from an angry household, you don't have no je ne sais quoi about yourself, that's going to be an issue. Nobody want to be bothered with that. Nobody want to be bothered with you. So you're not going to be able to get ahead if you don't learn how to deal with people in a social setting. It's not all about you. It's about playing as a team building. I mean, simple stuff that we need to know. A part of this system that is very challenging too is that they have a lot of different requirements in order for you to get ahead. And one of them is credit. This ties into one of my other topics that goes on a little bit higher up in the count. But credit, yo, you need credit for everything when it comes to getting ahead. If you don't have the cash, then you can use the credit. And if you leave your kids' houses, if you leave things to your children, if you pass down things that you've accomplished in life down, then that can help them sustain their credit. But not only that, I think that you should set your kid up for success instead of for failure, man. Why would you want to go out there and use your children's name for a bill that you couldn't pay with your name? Like, you're like, using the kid's name is going to make you pay the bill anymore. Like, no, I get it. But I also think that a main priority is going back and making sure that your kids' credit is A1 day one. Don't you dare let them run out the gate backwards and you backwards. So now we finna have 2 peas in a pod, and both of us, everybody in the pod is backwards. Yo, somebody gotta get out the pod alive, yo. So don't do that. Gangsta baby will be the best at war on different levels. Teamwork. You better say that. Even at war, please. You got to be on the same team. So the 7 levels of negatives. Okay, number the class. Your class level, where you from the projects to the middle class. Listen, some of us, we pass down being in the projects. Some of us don't want to be out of the projects. Some of us want to stay in the projects. And we want to have kids in the projects, and we want our kids to have project houses, and then their kids have project houses, and then on and on and on. And they just ride on down, and they just get project houses and project houses and project houses. That's a no-go, y'all. And I'm about to wrap this up and wind this thing on down. That's a no-go. We don't pass down mess, yo. We don't pass down less than, man. The goal always need to be striving for the top. And if you live in a project house, then you need to be making sure that your kid got phenomenal ass credit. So when they get 18, y'all can get up out of there. And when you do get credit, or you do build it up, you don't build it up just to tear it up. At the end of the day, it's about making on-time payments, yo, or even making payment arrangements. Don't let people scare you into thinking that you you ain't got that money. Oh, there's nothing you can do. Lies you tell. COVID is a great example on how these companies, these corporations, yes, they will work with you. If you call them and tell them what's going on, and you put something in writing and you let them know that this is all you got, listen, I'm telling you, it works, and you have to utilize it. If not, you never going to get out from up under that rut that you in, especially when you live in Black in America, yo, period. Period. The only way that you're gonna make something shake, the only way that police officers are even gonna look twice when it comes to dealing with people that's black in America is if we making sure we making that bread, we got that bread, and we got a hell of a reputation or a hell of a name. You understand what I'm saying? It's different when somebody kills a poor black man, but when they kill a upscale black man who been handling his business, or upscale black woman who been handling her business, and she got businesses and she got money and she got degrees and she got this and she got that, that's when something finna start shaking. So now we got to start upping the game on ourselves first and foremost, so we can stop the war against us. So children, I'm not taking anything away from having children, but when it comes to 7 levels of negative that we can't get past, having too many more children than us, listen, it's just a simple multiplication. I mean, simple addition and subtraction, It's one of you and it's 4 of them. You gonna drown. You cannot have 4 kids and it's only one of y'all and one job. You can't have 4 kids and it's 2 of y'all and one job. Like, we got to start doing things in order, Listen, you need to be able to take care of your own ass first. Then you need to be able to get a car. Then you need to be able to pay for your own place to stay, whether you're the girl or the guy. Because if both of y'all doing this, then boom, it's nothing. You can take care of one kid, they can take care of one kid. But when you start talking about 4 and 5 and 6, you need to put an extra 0 at the end of your fucking paycheck before you start having all these damn babies. Straight up. If you only making $1,000 a month, you can't afford no kid. If you're making $2,000 a month, you can't afford no kid. If you're making $3,000 a month, you just scratching the surface where you can get an apartment that's asking for 2.5 times the rent. And let me tell you something. You know what? You still can't afford no kid. If you're making $4,000 a month, you might be treading water. You might be able to get you a foster kid, because a foster kid gonna bring you more money than fucking child support. These old $50 child support ass niggas, that's nothing. That's nothing. $50 a week, that's nothing. You might as well go ahead and get you a foster kid to go with your real kid, because that's the only way you gonna make it out of there for $4,000 a month. Now, if you go ahead and get a raise and you making $5,000 a month, let me tell you something. You might be able to afford a dog. You might be able to afford a dog. Straight up. A fucking hamster. But you damn sure can't afford no kid with $1,600 rent on $5,000 salary. No, but let me tell you something. You keep on grinding. You go ahead. You do a little side hustle. You might be able to make a little extra $1,000 at your side job. You ain't never gonna be the fuck home, but you might be making $6,000 of money. You might just be able to afford more than an animal, and you might be able to get you a child, right? And that's just one of you. One of you. Don't you even count his income. So you at $6,000. You might be able to pay for everything you got to hold down. And you might be able to have this baby right now. But at the end of the day, your ass ain't going to be home. Why? Because you finna be working 2 jobs to make $6,000. Why? Remember, because we got disparities out here in this game when it's being black in America. So you're not finna get paid enough to be home. So now you still finna face a whole nother level of negative, because now you got this child at home, unsupervised, without parents, being lost in the shuffle to everything else out here that they influence us on. Now, with all that being said, we're going to talk about being unmarried, because I just said don't even count his income. You by yourself, as the woman that's going to be having the baby, you got to make $6,000 by yourself, with or without the ninja, with or without the husband. All right? So now if you married, it's 2 against 1. You know, if you making $6,000, if you think you finna bring your little raggedy ninja behind over here making less than $6,000, talking about you gonna be a head of a household, leading something, boy, here we go with damn integers again. That shit don't make no sense. It's a minus. So, bruh, either you gonna have to make $6,500 or $7,000, because what you're not finna do is you're not finna trail your ass in here with no $3,000 talking about, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm the man of the family and I'm calling on the shots. You better go sit your ass down on that toilet and take a shit sitting down. That's what you better do, because you're not running nothing up in here. So now, in order for us to productively have a great household, I need to be making $6 grand. He need to be making $6 grand, and we just now at a point to where we can be having some babies and not be up in here angry all night, want to walk around shooting up the next person because somebody stepped on my damn shoes. Real simple mathematics here. We're gonna take it to the next one. Generational knowledge. Listen, stop taking piss po ass advice from parents that we know don't know no damn better. It is what it is. Something parents is right. Listen, let me tell you something. Parents got this, like this monitor, right? To where if someone is bad for you, they know it, right? They get this. It's this spiritual thing to where they just know that that person ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? Or if you get ready to go someplace and they tell you not to go, yo, even the crackhead parents got this power, right? Like, yo, don't be going there. Something that they be feeling that you shouldn't go there, right? They got that, right? But when it comes to shit like credit and cars and houses, listen, if they already ain't got credit and cars and houses, you can't listen to their ass because they ain't got it, right? They ain't get it out the mud. So if they're not trying to tell you how to get it out the mud and let you save your money, listen, you need to be going to do your own research. It is what it is. It don't mean you love your parents no less. But what it does mean is that sometimes we pass down a bunch of these goofy ass generational knowledges that doesn't solve us any damn good. And we got to stop breaking away from some of this stuff. We got to break away from being encouraged to sow your oats. You ain't got to be sowing no oats. Find one person, settle down. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these generational knowledges they be passing down is exactly why we cursed in the first place, because it's retarded, goofy as hell, and we ain't got no business listening to it. You feel what I'm saying? And then last one I think is education. At the end of the day, you got to be wise enough to be able to sort this shit out. You understand me? And if you don't go get the basic education, I'm talking about just the basics, right? Everybody just want to go right into being able to be Einstein, but hell, you can't even be damn Big Bird from fucking Sesame Street. Yo, learn your shapes and sizes first before you go right over here talking about physics and shit. Like, come on with the jokes. Education is everything. And at the end of the day, people walking around here and you talking about what you think you know, what you should know, but you ain't even educated. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all a quick story, right? Because it's getting hot in here and I'm about to wrap this up. But listen, I make it a note not to listen to nobody that's dumber than me. I mean, it just is what it is. Now, if you smarter than me, all right, I might get offended. Okay, it is what it is. I'm gonna feel some kind of way. I'm gonna get offended because you're smarter than me. All right, but at the end of the day, if you dumber than me, I'm not even gonna think twice about it. So boom, I'm at work. I'm a phenomenal server. I have phenomenal customer service experience. But hey, listen, let me tell you something. When you come from the hood, when you come from Red Hook in Brooklyn, when you come from Fourth Ward, old school Boyd homes in the ATL, you don't know nothing about 5-star fine dining service. You don't know nothing about customer service. Listen, if they not twerking, you gonna fill out a place over here. Well, at any rate, I'm serving on some people straight from the hood. You feel what I'm saying? And then when it came time to give the review, they said, "Oh, your service was decent." So I started to get a little offended. I was like, "Yo, wait a minute, my service is decent." Like, yo, I ain't never in my life had nobody tell me that my service was decent. And I try not to judge a book by its cover. I feel like this, whether you from the hood or whether you from the suburbs, you know what good service is, right? So, all right, boom. It bothered me that this young dude said that my service was decent. But I had to really zoom in. And when I really zoomed in and I looked at the review and I saw he spelled decent wrong, yo, I promise you, it didn't even bother me no more. It didn't really bother me no more. You can't even spell decent. Why the hell would I be offended by you saying that my service was decent? You don't even know what you got. You don't even, because you used to that Magic City. You want somebody to be twerking, and I'm not finna be doing all that. So at the end of the day, it didn't even make. I didn't even care what the dude said about me being mediocre or decent or whatever, because he couldn't even spell it. So like what am I get mad over this cat for? No, I'm not even gonna waste my energy with you, bro. You feel like I'm decent? All right, we're gonna rock out with that. Not to mention, I'm not even gonna tell you that you spent decent wrong. No, I'm not gonna be offended, yo. So at the end of the day, get educated before you even open up your mouth. Cause half the time, most of us, we just out here talking about what we didn't heard, what we heard somebody else say, what we didn't heard over the radio, but we don't have the education and we don't even know how to decipher the truth from what's real, yo. Like for real, for real. At the end of the day, it's very important for y'all to make sure you zone in, love yourself, make sure you stay educated. Make sure at the end of the day that when you're walking out these doors that you are covered. Because if you're not, you can have a terrible, terrible, terrible instance to go down that's happened to who we had it happen to. George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery. I mean, there's countless numbers of these issues that we have going on, and that's why we need to go ahead and get together and join the American Task Force. Make sure y'all follow me, y'all. I love y'all so much. Toya with the T here. Thank y'all for joining me. Make sure y'all stay tuned. Oh, Magic City Babies, honey. I don't even want to get started on them. We'll do that on our next episode, huh? But make sure y'all follow me. Stay tuned because I'm gonna be coming up later on in the week with my podcast. I'm gonna be going ahead, getting my clips together to go ahead and be on People TV starting next week. Comcast Channel 24. I love y'all so much. Make sure y'all stay tuned. And I don't know, I might be doing something different with my hair. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. But I want to thank y'all for joining me. Toy with the T. And I'll see y'all next time. Love you bunches. Bye. Thank you for your support. Thank you so much. Make sure y'all like, share, and I'll see y'all next time.